Unveiling the Judges of the Bible, a journey through Bible scriptures. The Bible's book of Judges records an era in ancient Israel, a cycle of disobedience, repentance, and rescue. Our first judge, Othniel, sets the tone. From Judges 3, 7, 11, we hear of his courage, his strength, and his faith. Othniel, a member of the tribe of Caleb, delivered the erring Israelites from 8 years of oppression by Cushan-Rishathaim, king of Mesopotamia. 2. Ehud, a left-handed deliverer, follows Othniel. Judges 3:12-30 recounts his story, a tale of cunning and bravery against the Moabites. Ehud, who had hidden a sword under his garments on his right side, so that when a search of his person was made it would be overlooked, brought tribute to Eglon, the Moabite king. Shamgar, the third judge, is merely noted as a deliverer who killed 600 Philistines. Shamgar, a lesser-known judge, appears in Judges 3:31. Though his story is brief, his impact was significant, defending Israel with an ox goad. 4. Deborah, a prophetess and judge, breaks the mold. Judges 4:5 paints a picture of this female leader who won a victory against Canaanite forces alongside Barak. Deborah sent word to all the tribes to unite against the Canaanites, but only about half the tribes responded. The Canaanites had asserted control over the valley of Jezreel, which was an important commercial thoroughfare and was commanded by the city of Megiddo. In this valley, dominated by the hill of Megiddo, Armageddon, a site of many later crucial military battles, and which later became the symbolic name for the final battle between the forces of good and the forces of evil in apocalyptic literature. The Israelites met the Canaanites near the river Kishon in open battle. A cloudburst occurred, causing the river to flood, thus limiting the Canaanite chariots. The Canaanite general Sisera, seeing defeat for his forces, fled, seeking refuge in the tent of a Kenite woman, Jael, a supporter of the cause of Israel. Jael gave Sisera a drink of milk, fermented, and he fell asleep from weariness. Jael pounded a tent peg through his temple, thus ending decisively the threat of the Canaanites of Hazor. The victory song of Deborah in chapter 5. Gideon, a humble wheat thresher chosen by God, leads Israel to victory against the Midianites. Judges 6:8 reveals his tale of faith and doubt. The Midianites, however, were again attacked, and their 2 kings, Zebah and Zalmunna, were captured and later executed by Gideon because they had killed his brother. The leaders of Sukkoth were punished, and the men of Penuel were killed in retaliation for their refusal to aid the forces of Gideon. After Gideon died, the people returned to worshiping the gods of the Canaanites, especially Baal-berith. Abimelech, Gideon's son, stands out as a cautionary tale. His story in Judges 9 serves as a warning against ambition unchecked by righteousness. Abimelech asked his armor-bearer to kill him. The attempt of Abimelech and the Shechemites to establish a monarchy thus proved to be abortive and premature. After Abimelech, the mantle passes to 6th judge Tola. Judges 10:1-2 introduces us to this man who faithfully served Israel for 23 years. 7. Jair, succeeding Tola and ruling for 22 years, appears next in Judges 10:3-5. His legacy includes 30 sons who rode donkeys and governed cities. After a brief account of the rule of 2 judges, Tola of the tribe of Issachar and Jair from Gilead, the Deuteronomist describes the apostasy of the Israelites and the consequent oppression of the tribes by the Philistines from the sea coast and the Ammonites from the Transjordan. Jephthah, an 8th judge with a tragic vow, is introduced in Judges 11:12. His story reflects the grave consequences of hasty promises. Jephthah, the son of a harlot, who had been rejected by the sons of his father, and who had gathered about him a band who made their living by raiding others. Jephthah made several attempts to negotiate with the Ammonites and Moabites. When the Ammonites did not cooperate, Jephthah moved against them. By the Spirit of the Lord, ecstatically inspired with a vow to sacrifice the first person he saw upon his return home as a burnt offering to Yahweh. Ibzan, a ninth judge mentioned briefly in Judges 12, 8, 10, had 30 sons and daughters. His leadership is seldom discussed, yet it spans 7 years. Elon, a 10th judge in Judges 12:11, 12, lead Israel for 10 years. His story serves as a testament to quiet faithfulness. 11. Abdon the son of Hillel brings forward a legacy of peace in Judges 12:13, 15. His rule was marked by prosperity and growth. 12. Samson, a last judge with great strength and tragic flaws, is perhaps the most well-known. Judges 13:16 detail his life, showcasing both triumph and disaster. Samson became a member of the Nazi rights and anti-Canaanite reform movement. He met the temptress Delilah, who wrested from him the secret of his great strength, that is, his long uncut hair because of his vow. Samson was captured by the Philistines after his hair had been cut short. After imprisonment, blinding, and humiliation, Samson finally avenged his loss of self-respect by pulling down the main pillars of the temple of the Philistine god Dagon, after which the temple was destroyed, along with numerous Philistines. Though Samson was more a folk hero than a judge, the Philistines were a group of sea peoples united in a confederacy of 5 city-states: Gaza, Ashkelon, Ashdod, Gath, and Ekron. Eli, a priest and judge, introduces us to the transition to monarchy. 1 Samuel 1:4 outlines his life, highlighting his role in the story of Samuel. Finally, we meet Samuel, the prophet who anointed the first 2 kings of Israel. 1 Samuel 7 and onwards recounts his tale, marking the end of the era of the judges. Each judge held a unique place in Israel's history, serving in a time of turmoil and transition. Through their stories, we can learn lessons of faith, courage, leadership, and at times failure and the need for repentance. The book of Judges, intertwined with these narratives, reminds us of our need for God's guidance. The lives of the judges echo across millennia, their tales serving as both warnings and encouragement for us today. As we reflect on these narratives, we're reminded that our story is part of a wider narrative, one that began long before us. Let these stories inspire you, challenge you, and guide you as you navigate your own spiritual journey. As we close this exploration of the judges of the Bible, we invite you to delve deeper into their stories to see what lessons you might take from their lives. Thank you for joining in our video. Like, share, subscribe, and comment your opinion.